Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So today I'm going to do something different, something I've never done before, and I'm going to, no kidding, before I take any kind of action, ask for your opinions. Normally I just kind of do it because, you know, I get locked on target, locked on a vehicle that I absolutely love, and before you know it, even though no matter how much I tell myself I'm not going to get it, I end up accidentally pursuing it until I end up getting it. So perhaps that's a bad thing. I get it. A lot of you do not understand that, and for good reason. I mean, normal people should keep a vehicle for several years. Normal people, especially vehicles like this. I mean, you buy them, you know, long-lasting, reliable Toyotas. I mean, you buy them and you drive the heck out of them for like 5 years at least, right? Which makes sense. So that is normal. But for the select few of you out there who can maybe empathize with me a little bit, you know, I am, and it's not for the channel. I don't need a YouTube channel to to hold down my household and make sufficient money, I assure you. But I just do it and I share it with you. I guess share my craziness with you because it's fun. It's a hobby for me. That's all it is. So I'll jump to the point. The point is I am considering a few different things here. Consideration number one, and some of you are going to want to punch me in the face, but some of you will appreciate it, as I know a lot of you really appreciated the Land Cruiser, but I'm considering getting a 2021 Land Cruiser Heritage Edition again. And as history has shown, for some reason I tend to, I don't know, it's almost ugly. I end up coming back to the vehicles that I had before. I just hope, the one vehicle I know for a fact I'm not going to go back to is a diesel Ram, that's for sure. So, but I mean, you guys know I've really developed a love and passion for Toyotas at large for a number of reasons that I won't dissect right now. But the Heritage Edition, I don't know. And you guys know I ended up making the transition back to this, really it was a financial move. But let me explain why perhaps that will no longer be, I guess, a consideration. Because you guys know I made the move. I had a loan on the Land Cruiser, a sizable one, and by me trading it in, I was able to get this, the 4Runner TRD Pro here. I got $83,500 for my trade value on the Land Cruiser. I know some of you always love to dissect numbers, so I'll throw those in there. And then for this, I paid MSRP, which I think was just over $53,000. It does have the rear cargo pull-out tray, additional thing on it. So just over 53, and I got 83.5 for my trade-in. And by doing this, I was able to pay this off. So that cleared off our only vehicle loan. And I did that on purpose because, as I've alluded to a number of times in my previous videos, for my returning folks, we're going to move again. We're moving to Virginia in July timeframe. So really, I mean, that's not that far away at this point. And my wife and I are starting to look at houses already. The reason why we cleared that loan is we wanted to make sure that we could, you know, have the best possible chance of getting the best possible home loan with the lowest interest rate, right? So that was a driving factor of it, and that's what kind of forced me to do it at the time. So because we're actually starting to look at houses now, we're starting to see really just how competitive the housing market is, which it's ugly, by the way, right now. So if you're having to buy a house, it is a daunting process right now, really across the nation, but especially in a few hot spots. It definitely feels like a bubble, but I won't get into real estate right here. Anyway, so all this to say, we might be securing our loan and locking in our interest rate, you know, really within the next couple months. And then it takes anywhere from, I guess, 30, 60 days to actually, you know, place your offer and actually close on a home. And by that time, you know, we're looking at, you know, May, June timeframe, and that's about the time where we're going to be pulling chocks from Washington State here. So all that to say, I'm a couple months out from securing our home loan, and once we do that, that kind of reopen the door for potentially pursuing a Land Cruiser Heritage Edition again if I wanted to. So some of you might get a kick out of this, but just 2 days ago, you know, I'm always kind of fishing around. I'm always kind of looking to see what the price tag's doing. Because right now, as you guys probably have noticed, there's quite the hype train surrounding the Land Cruiser just because, oh my gosh, it's the last year of its production. Oh my gosh. So now everybody, there's like this synthetic love for the thing now. But, you know, I mean, Savage Geese, they just uploaded a video the other day. So now, magically, there's a lot of Toyota Land Cruiser fans. So because of that, of course, prices are getting affected a little bit. But even still, like I shared on my Instagram maybe a couple weeks ago at this point, some dealerships are still offering them for like $81,000, $82,000. So, $7,000, $8,000 below MSRP. They're just offering it for that. So that's before negotiation too. So is it possible to still get one for $8 to $9 under MSRP? Yes. As I shared on my Instagram, you guys saw it, and they ended up selling them pretty quick. The couple, even in Washington State, they're asking $81,000 on a couple of them, a white one and a black one. So that's kind of baffling for Washington State. As you know, they love markups out here. But at any rate, so one option is to trade in the 4Runner back for a Land Cruiser Heritage Edition. I'll likely get magnetic gray or even the silver. I've kind of been eyeballing the silver. You guys know I don't like the pearl coat in the Blizzard Pearl. I don't like the yellowish hue to it. Whereas, super white here is like aspen white. It's just a sheer flat snow white, if you will. So I love this by comparison, but Blizzard Pearl is a little more swanky and has that pearl coat. So anyway, so I'd consider it a silver, classic silver, or magnetic gray if I were to do that. So there's option one. Sorry, it took 6 minutes to get there. I'll breeze through the other ones. Option two is a Sequoia TRD Pro. That one I can do anytime. We're not gonna, definitely wouldn't need to take a loan out for that. Especially given the market value of TRD Pros right now, 4Runners in particular, they sell like hotcakes. Just given the price point. Even the trade value on KBB, I don't know if you guys look lately, if you do a KBB search on your Tundra TRD Pro, your 4Runner TRD Pro in particular, I didn't look at Tacomas, but they are, this one right here, the mid-range value on KBB is $53,500 for a 2020. It doesn't even let you look at a 2021 because they figure what crazy person would want to trade in their 21. Anyways, so imagine if a 2020 white 4Runner TRD Pro has a suggested middle range trade value. We're not even talking private party trade value at $53,500. That's already what I paid for the thing. Not to mention this is a year newer than the 2020 that I searched, so probably right 54, 55, 56 isn't beyond reason for a trade value. Private party, I would feel guilty selling it for anything more than 56. But realistically, the point I'm getting at, I could get maximum dollar for this, and I can get a Sequoia TRD Pro easily for 61,000, maybe 60,000, or even 59 if I dug hard for it. Because they're marked down, $5,000 left and right is what I've noticed, and there's a handful available. And I'd likely get a Lunar rock, or even maybe an army green if there's a new one still floating around out there. So there's option two, just trading this in and forking over the additional $5,000 to get a Sequoia TRD Pro. There's option two, and then the final option. This is the one that has been the longest standing option, and that is, come August timeframe, just get, instead of trading it in for a Land Cruiser that's substantially more than this and having to take out a loan, admittedly, I would get an FJ Cruiser the Ultimate Edition, Trail Team's Ultimate Edition. So 2014 in the Heritage Blue. That is, I think, my least favorite color, if we're being honest, but the fact that it's the 2014, the last year of it, I think I would want to pursue that one next. As you guys know, I've had the 2013, the cement gray. That is my favorite color for the Trail Teams, but I think I would try to pursue something different if I were to try it out again, and it would likely be the Heritage Blue and the Ultimate Edition there. So, and I would not get rid of the 4Runner in that case. So those are kind of my options that I'm weighing through right now. Nothing committal right now, of course, but I figured I'd pitch them to you and see what you would recommend me do, and what you would do if you're in my shoes, if you will. After we're able to secure a home loan and all that stuff, the important business is done. What could be the next vehicle? So let's. I'll real briefly run through why and the pros and cons of each. The 21 Land Cruiser being the obvious one. It is the last year of the 200 series, the last year of the Land Cruiser in the U.S. rather, which makes it pretty special for obvious reasons. Savage Geese, they make the claim that it's gonna not lose value at all. I disagree with that. I still think they're gonna flop to, I think, high 50s and remain in the high 50s for a very long time. No matter if you have 100,000 miles on it, I think they'll still be a high $50,000 vehicle. But that's just my thoughts. I mean, at that price point, they are, I don't know, they're out of reach for so many people. You know, and if we're talking $90,000, $91,000 for with the third row, that is, gosh, I mean, that's like what, a third of a nice house, if you will, in Michigan. So something to consider there. So the price point of that one is the only, I guess, daunting factor, the con of it. The fact that I've already had one too is kind of a, I don't know, I mean, I've been there, done that, but I could say that on all of them here. But again, the Land Cruiser is the ultimate Toyota for sure, and for good reason. It's overbuilt. You've heard all the stats, and you know it is no kidding built for 25 years. In my case, perhaps 25 weeks. So, and the Sequoia honestly makes the most amount of sense. Excuse me. So the Land Cruiser, I would get the third row. Let me make that clear. But even then, it's a tight third row. It's a snug third row. The Sequoia makes more sense because it is, for a growing family, it is super, super spacious, as you guys know, but it is also super ancient looking. It is easily my least favorite looking vehicle inside and out. But again, if it means comfortably fitting my entire family in it with no issue, I mean, Peanut can jump in and get in the back seat in her booster seat at that time, and it'd just be a super easy family hauler. And that is the most appealing aspect of it. Not to mention, as you guys know, it still shares the same engine as the Land Cruiser, as the Tundra as well, with that 5.7 liter V8, which is going to be a relic, a thing of the past here in about 2 minutes, right? So there's a goodness factor of that. With the Sequoia 2, I would likely get, like I mentioned, the exclusive color. So there's another kind of cool factor to consider. But again, I just don't know if I can ever get past just how ancient and old that thing looks. My wife hates the front end of the Sequoia, but again, she also, you know, she does love the idea that, you know, it could fit the whole family with ease. And you guys know we have a third baby inbound, so around May time frame will be a 5-pack, and then you throw in the 3 dogs and 2 cats. You know, we'll definitely need a Sequoia by the sounds of it, or at least an ARC. So, but anyway, so there's option 2 with the Sequoia, with the pros and cons, and then the final one with the FJ. That's just the most, I don't know, I think it's the safest bet when it comes to not losing a dollar, right? So I could buy a Trail Team Ultimate Edition and try to get one with, you know, anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 miles, which are becoming super hard to come by these days, right? So I try to find one of those. It would likely cost around the 40 grand plus range, really, but I would really look for a really good example of it. And if I had that, I could probably drive it for, realistically, a few years, put a ton of miles on it, and not lose anything. You know, they truly are only going up in value. And that's the difference between the FJ and the Land Cruiser. The FJ had a starting price point of $38,000, $39,000 back in 2013, 2014. The Land Cruiser at $90,000 is a very different breed, you know? So to compare it to the FJ Cruiser when it comes to value and sustaining residual value, I think is almost an unfair assessment, in my opinion, just because that starting price point is vastly different, you know? $90,000 back in 2013, 2014 is still still a ton of money, you know? But, you know, when you hear $38,000, it's like, okay, geez, you know, you can, I mean, the TRD Pro 4Runner here is $53,000. So I mean, that sounds like chump change by comparison, right? I guess that's an ugly way to say it, but you get my point. So those are, I've already made this too long of a video, but those are the things that I'm really kind of mowing through, you know. Or I could shut up and color and enjoy what I have and be a normal person. I can absolutely do that, because I know a lot of people, I think, would probably just prefer that. But I figured I would at least voice some of my thoughts with you and get your opinions. What would you do? And, you know, assuming it, you know, it's not going to be an issue financially to tackle it. So at any rate, I'll wrap up the video there. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Until next time.